You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Jay Kaplan. How are you?
Thank you so much. You know, when I walked in earlier, they were pointing, there's that repeat offender.
There's that repeat offender. Yeah, exactly. I guess you've got that written on your forehead or something along those lines.
Yeah, well, yeah. Right next to the numbers.
There you go. And then remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. But today, well, I guess it's National Devil's Food Cake Day. Devil Food Cake Day. I guess we can go with Devil's Food Cake. I like that. Let's take a look and see. Tomorrow would, being that I'm going to we'll do a best of broadcast tomorrow. That's it. National Pizza Party Day is tomorrow. Okay. Endangered Species Day is tomorrow. Delta Smelt. We're on the way. We're saving those things. No water, but I did just hear an interesting one, which I found fascinating. I'm going to be doing some more research on this to share with you. You know, we hear, especially in Southern California, about all this water shortage. Well, I got some information the other day. Water shortage. You know why the governor only talks about the water shortage when he's in Southern California? Because they have no water shortage in Northern California. And the other part of it is the water shortage is only in certain parts of Southern California. Can you say Los Angeles? Orange County has no water shortage. We've got plenty of water here in Orange County. So fascinating how, you know, the news doesn't want us to know about that. It doesn't make good news. Speaking of not making, well, I'll go and talk about that in a minute. Dow Jones now down 173 points, recovering quite a bit today from where it was earlier in the day. S&P 500 is actually up 1.65. The NASDAQ is up 110 points. Oil up 36 cents a barrel. I guess we should look at it. 36 cents a barrel. Here in the formerly Golden State, we are now at $6.06 a gallon of gasoline. 606.
Ow!
Who benefits from that 606 a gallon? Yeah, it's the state. About 25% of that is taxes. 25%. And, wait. Taxes and fees, because, you know, the state has not been given authority any longer. We took that away from Sacramento to tax us. And basically, any additional taxes have to go on ballots because we don't trust those guys up there, gals. But they get away with it by calling it a fee, right? So we have fees that they are adding. In fact, there's another one of those fees going into a place. I think it's the 1st of July. We're going to get another 30-cent a gallon fee. Now, I shared with you the other day how to figure this out. And I'm, you know, just so I can get a little more ill, I should get a box of or a bottle of Pepto-Bismol in here. But $6.06 is the California price of gasoline. Josh out there in Nevada, he's at $5.23.5. That's bad, but not as bad as $6.06 with another 30-cent a gallon add-on. Jody's at $4.84. She's in Arizona, another great member of our team. And our tremendous underwriter, Lori, $4.24 a gallon. So think about that. Lori's paying basically a little more than 25% discount on her gasoline to what we're paying here in the formerly Golden State, and our price is still going up. Now, remember, if you want to know, because I just heard somebody the other day say, well, gasoline in California is going to go to $10 a gallon. Do you know what that would mean in price of the barrel of oil? Now, I'm not going to go and do the algebra for you. There's smarter people to do that than me. But here's the math of it. If you want to figure out how gasoline prices, how to predict gasoline prices, go and look at oil. It shows right there on Market Watch. Right now, it's $110 a barrel. Multiply that times 1.5. That's going to tell you what it costs to take a barrel of oil and refine it into gasoline. So that 110 becomes 165. Now divide by 42. There's 42 gallons of gasoline, or 42 gallons in a barrel. So divide that 165 by 42 and then add roughly 80 cents for taxes, profit, all that good stuff. So that'll give you the national average for a gallon of gasoline. So at $115, I know this one off the top of my head because I just remembered it. At $115 a barrel of oil, that's going to work out to about $5 a gallon of gasoline on a national level before California puts all our taxes and things like that on there. $5 a gallon. So in order for us to have $10 a gallon national gasoline, we'd have to look at like $230 a barrel of oil. Now, I don't think I've ever seen oil that high. I was a little tyke in the early 70s. Jay was around. He had his 17th car by then.
Right, or more.
Is that
old by then?
you were on Social Security even then, weren't you?
Yeah, of course.
72. So are we heading back to 1972? If the government gets their way, we will. Why? Because oil companies are not going to produce oil if they can't make money at it. And now the government's coming in and saying, well, these companies are all getting rich. Did you see what happened to Target? Did you see what happened to Walmart? They're not getting rich on these inflation numbers. They're starting to lose a lot of money. Their market cap is dropping. The Dow Jones is dropping. Why is that happening? Well, if the government says, okay, we're going to go and we're going to put a cap, or we're going to fix the price of gasoline. Do you ever notice how well that works when you go into the hurricane season? Right? I would bet that there would be somebody that would be willing to risk their life taking a truckload of gasoline from a refinery into a hurricane area, a tornado area, for a price. For some price. I don't know what that price is, but they'll do it for a price. Maybe it's $10,000 a truckload, $20,000. I don't know what the number is. Everybody has their own number. For a price, people will do things. Just throwing that out there to you. So the bottom line here is that people are going to do these things at some point. Just throw that out there. Speaking of do things at some point, have you seen what's going on in Los Angeles lately? This one is a fascinating story to me. Now, I just saw yesterday on the news that they've got some issues in Los Angeles with a shortage of money at the school union, the schools. Can somebody help me with this? On a national level, the federal government allocated $122 billion in COVID relief to schools, K through 12 schools. $122 billion. 93% of it has been spent. 93%. Okay. 7% of 122 billion. My math is a little slow today, but it's a lot of money. Now, Los Angeles was allocated, LA Unified, $2.57 billion. Do you want to guess how much of $2.57 billion LA has spent on their on the school district? Zero. They have not spent a single dime. Now, what good is it to get the money allocated if they're not going to use it for the benefit of whomever they're supposed to use it for. Just throw that out there for you. $2.57 billion, and they have not spent any of it. Why? I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know the answer. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, myths of the reverse mortgage. We're going to talk to Jay Kaplan about that. The one thing every homeowner needs to know about a recession, how to evaluate a credit card offer you received in the mail, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Don't forget to get the mobile app from Geneva, ronismylender.com. That'll get you to the mobile app, ronismylender.com. Let's take a look at the markets today. The S&P 500 now up 0.69. 10-year Treasury down 4 basis points to 2.844. Mortgage-backed securities up 22 basis points. That is good news on the mortgage market. Speaking of the mortgage market, let's take a look at Freddie Mac. They came out with their report today. They do it every Thursday morning. The Freddie Mac Mortgage Market Survey tells us that interest rates are at 5.25%. 5.25%. They say you've got to pay 9/10 to get it. Yeah, you know better than that because you are a regular listener of Ron Siegel Radio. We tell you what interest rates really are at. Well, how do we know? Well, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgages transactions nationwide. Yesterday, the loans locked at 5.509. That's a 30-year conforming, 5.509. I know. That's not what Freddie Mac told us, because their survey was done Monday through Wednesday, reported Thursday. But I'm telling you, the loans that actually locked, 5.509. 30-year jumbos were at 5.013. 30-year FHA, 5.334. VA, the best loan on the market, 5.18. USDA, 5.335. And the loan that I never recommend, I'll do them, never recommend, the 15-year conforming loan, 4.591. Why don't I like 15-year loans?
So right.
It's very simple. Home equity is high risk. I've been lending since I helped someone with their first loan, actually, in 1983. I was still in college at the time, but I did help them with their loan. And ever since then, I'm going to ask Jay this question also. Jay Kaplan, he's been in the lending business since
Turn
bank.
of the century. We're not sure which century, but
Well, what we know you, Jay. You actually wrote. I did some research. I had my staff do some research on you, and they found the first mortgage you did was actually done on a tablet, not an electronic tablet. It was on stone. They etched it with a chisel. I'm just throwing that out there. But I'm gonna submit, Jay, that as a lender, we never ever lend money to people who need money. We lend money to people who want money.
that's the way it is.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
So if you've got a lot of equity in your property and you need it right now, you're not going to get a loan. Sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Now, we're going to talk a little bit today about one loan for elderly that might help out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But the bottom line is for the most part, you have I just spoke to somebody the other day, 56 years old, 4 pieces of fully paid off properties. They're not working, need some money. They can't get any money out of them. Now, throw this out at you also, 5.509, 30-year conforming rate, 5.013 for the jumbo. Why is the jumbo cheaper than the 30-year conforming? Government regulation, right? So on the higher balanced loans, they've put some loan level price adjustments in from Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae that the jumbo lenders don't have to follow those same things. They work on their own money, their rules. Quickly, why is all this happening? Well, initial jobless claims came in this morning, measures individuals filing unemployment benefits for the very first time. Reported at 218,000 claims for the last week, represents an increase of 21,000 from the previous revised report of 197,000 claims, and was above expectations of 200,000. Continuing claims decreased by 25,000 to 1.317 million, which was below the 1.32 million estimate. Remember, I've told you this, historically, every single time when unemployment starts ticking up, that means when it's bottomed out, like right now we're at 3.6% unemployment. When it starts going up, that is an indicator of a recession, usually 162 days out. So it's always happened. The average is 162 days. I don't know when it'll happen. I don't know if it'll be the same this time as it's been every other time. Existing home sales came out. Tracks closings of existing homes decreased by 2.4 million in April at a 5.61 million unit annualized pace, which was lower than estimates of 1.7% decline. Supply was down 10.4% from a year ago when the median existing home price was $391,000 in April, a 14.8% rise from a year ago at 122 consecutive months of year-over-year increases. This is the longest running streak on record. No, running, not Jay, it's not running like you and I run. Well, we don't run.
No.
But
We won't get into that.
But that's consecutive streak. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So I'm going to share that I think the program we're going to talk about today, and we don't do a lot of program product talk on Ron Siegel Radio. Yeah, unless you need a loan, you don't even want to talk about this stuff. But we're going to do it today. We're actually going to talk about the reverse mortgage today And I'm going to share, it's probably my second most favorite loan product available. My favorite loan product available is the VA loan, because the men and women who are entitled to that have served our country. We appreciate them, and they deserve every. I laugh at agents when or sellers when they say, "Well, I don't want to do a VA loan because they don't have any skin in the game." They put their life on the line. That's the skin in the game that they have. So we thank them, especially during Military Appreciation Month. So VA loan in my book, number one. But for our seniors, the reverse mortgage is a biggie. And today I want to chat with Jay Kaplan about myths and realities of the reverse mortgage. So we're going to go over, and Jay Kaplan is doing reverse mortgages since it was not a good product, right? I mean, in the mid '80s, it was not a good product.
No, but I was not doing them then.
Okay, but you knew about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Stayed
he
away.
stayed away, and now he's come into the world where something when it's a bad product, and there's not too. I've said this many times, Jade. I think that generally there's not really been too many bad loan products on the market. There's been bad applications. The reverse mortgage pre-1985, I think, might have been a bad product.
I think, well, it was. It was designed only for people who were desperate.
And desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah, and they got to stay in their home. That is until the value of until the amount or the balance of their loan became higher than the value of the property, and in many cases they were kicked out. And even if they passed away when there was a lot of equity, the heirs only got 5% of that equity. So that's where it belongs to the bank, because it might as well have.
Right. Yes, that was not a good product. But now let's talk about some myths, Jay.
Okay.
The lender owns the home.
No, that's right. Just no way.
Yeah, that one doesn't take very long to even talk about, right?
No, I mean, it's just a misconception. It never was the case, even when those were bad. But remember, those loans that we were talking about were only for the desperate. Those were not FHA. They were not government regulated or overseen. It was completely private. Every bank had their own version. It was a whole different atmosphere than it is, a whole different world than it is now.
And, if you've listened to Ron Siegel Radio for any length of time, you know that I'm not a big fan of government regulation. But in this space, it is a great, great tool. It's very, very needed. It's important. There's a lot of protections. I think a lot of protections to protect people from themselves and their family even.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because one of the more recent changes that most people did not really like, I would submit, is when you could only get a fraction of the line of credit or the proceeds initially. And I think that saved a lot of people.
I think so too. You could get a decent amount of it, believe me.
Yeah.
Could.
Yeah. But the idea of getting all of that money lump sum, what do people do? What do they do when they get a lump sum of money? They spend it, right? Or their heirs think, aha, now I can go to bank of grandma and grandpa, and that money's gone, so they don't have access to it.
Right.
And they need it for their living livelihood. Next myth. The borrower is restricted on how to use the loan proceeds.
Nope. They can do whatever they want with it.
Buy a house?
Buy a house, gamble it away, which is not recommended.
Help their kids get a house?
They can. What a lot of people don't understand is you can buy a house in buying when you're purchasing. But you can also buy a second home with proceeds from the first one, the one that you're living in. And that could be a vacation home. It could be a rental home for extra income and increasing your legacy at the same time.
So I've got a $1 million home right here in Orange County, which that's me. We just mentioned there's $1,031,000 is the median home price now in Orange County, California. So I've got $1 million home. I'm going to use it in round numbers. I get a reverse mortgage because it's all free and clear. Get a reverse mortgage. Can I get $400,000, $500,000 out of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's going to change with your age.
Okay.
The older you are, the more you can get. But I tell people the best time to get it is at 62. the earliest that you possibly can, because even though you would get more if you waited 10 years, if you got it earlier and allowed it to build, the line of credit will build regardless of what happens to property values. Then at that 10-year period later, you'll have more spending power than if you had waited.
So if I've got that free and clear property, what can I get immediate?
If it's
free and clear.
If it's free and clear and you're looking for one of those with the line of credit, which I would recommend, okay, you would probably totally get, depending on your age, so let's just average it out, you'd probably get 550, maybe 600,000, okay? And of that, 60% of that number can be had right away.
Oh, so okay. So if you get 500,000, 60% is $300,000.
Yeah.
So I can go and use that to buy another piece of property if I want to.
Anything you want.
We're going to talk more with Jay Kaplan when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we are also going to chat about the one thing every homeowner needs to know about a recession, how to evaluate a credit card offer you received in the mail, and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
As well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I think I hit a button wrong, Josh, or something like that. Are we good? Is anybody hearing me? Okay. I guess Maybe somebody doesn't want to hear me. The Real-Time Real Estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. The one thing every homeowner needs to know about a recession, because we are heading there. A recession does not equal a housing crisis. That's the one thing that every homeowner today needs to know. Everywhere you look, experts are warning we could be heading toward a recession. And if true, an economic slowdown does not mean homes will lose value. The National Bureau of Economic Research, NBER, defines a recession this way. Quote, a recession is a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy, normally visible in production, employment, and other indicators. A recession begins when the economy reaches a peak of economic activity and ends when the economy reaches its trough. Between trough and peak, the economy is in an expansion, unquote. So a lot of people think that the recession is when you have 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. Loosely, that's true, but the National Bureau of Economic Research actually tells us. They're the ones that look at these numbers and make the determination. To help show that home prices do not fall every time there's a recession, take a look at the historical data. There have been 6 recessions in this country over the past 4 decades. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a graph of recessions going back to the 1980s. Home prices appreciated 4 times, depreciated only 2 times. So historically, there's no proof that they go down. There's actually proof that when an economy slows down, it does not mean home values will fall. I am going to submit to you, because I don't like the graph completely, that there's really only been one time where we've seen home prices drop because of a recession. That would be in 1991, and they dropped 1.9%. I'm going to tell you that in 2008, home prices did not drop because of a recession. There was a recession because of what was going on in the housing market. So yes, we did see a 19.7% drop. Was not because of a recession. It was because the other way around. So the first occasion on the graph when you see home values depreciated was the early 1990s, when home prices dropped by less than 2%. It happened again during the housing crisis. I just talked about that. So I'm going to tell you that we are not in a housing bubble. I gave you all the numbers yesterday that really just demonstrated, even with the new building, there is no bubble because there's not enough supply right now. Fundamentals are very different than they were in 2008. So we should not assume we're heading down the same path. We're not in a recession in this country. We're heading there. Doesn't mean you're going to lose value if history repeats itself. Want to talk more about this? I ask you all the time, if you, family, friends, coworkers, know anybody looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, can I count on you to have them call me? 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Going to continue our conversation. Jay Kaplan is in the house. He is the reverse mortgage guru. We're talking today about the myths of the reverse mortgage. Myth number 3, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
It's only for poor people.
No. In fact, it was never, this program that we're talking about now was never, ever even designed for poor people. Now, let me, as an aside, I guess today they use sidebar. That's the cool way.
Sidebar, yeah.
Yeah, okay. If a person is desperate and in that kind of situation, love to help them out with a reverse mortgage, okay? That's another story. But it was never designed by Congress to be for that. It was to bolster the ability to have a great and a good, solid, protected retirement. And of course, now that we're living longer and longer, me being 105, although I don't look bad for 105.
Exactly. Well, you don't look good, but at 105,
no. You know, I always, when somebody says, "Boy, you look good," I said, "No, maybe better, but never good." But still, people are living longer than ever now, which means health problems are, we're getting better.
What it is.
We're getting better all the time with medicine, but we still have health problems that are going to be fed more and more by older age. So
Yeah, that's it. So the bottom line here, first off, if you want to buy a house and you're poor, I don't know people that have $200,000 in the bank to go buy a house, even with a reverse mortgage. Right now, you may be cash poor, you may be equity rich.
Yeah.
Right. There are those folks. So it can help those people that are cash poor if you're of age, but you shouldn't be in that situation anyway, because as Jay mentioned in the last segment, you might want to be looking at the reverse mortgage right when you turn when the youngest of the couple turns 62, because there's so many benefits. Now, is it right for everybody at that age? I'm not going to say yes or no, but I'm going to say for the most part, I think it probably is. But the bottom line is, I'm going to tell you what is right for every single person listening today. Getting educated, right? You should know the product, because as a liability advisor, I'm going to tell you that you need to understand where you're going, what your goal is. Do you want to have a house that you're eating dog food because you can't afford, filet or ribeye, or maybe even ground beef, right? The bottom line is it's a financial planning tool, just like you're going to have with your 401k. You're going to have a financial planner with your assets. If you have a stock account, a real estate account, crypto account, I know a gentleman, his all of his retirement is in books, right? So he's got a big collection, 7-figure value in books, right? Maybe it's in art, maybe it's in stamps, coins, whatever you have. But the bottom line is you've got advisors there. You're learning about it. You need a liability advisor talking to you about a program like this. Myth number 4. Once loan proceeds are received, you pay taxes on them.
no. How's that?
Jay, you said no on every one of these.
Well, that's because no is the correct answer.
Okay.
And like I was saying during our break, there are in this arena of reverse mortgages, someone, depending on the value of their home, they can get $6 million worth of non-taxable cash funds to do with what they want. So if you're even a fraction of that, go to your financial planner. If you don't have one, call Ron, of course. And what can you do with an extra, say, even a measly $4 million without paying any taxes on it? Wouldn't that give you so much more flexibility and protection to what to do about everything? And you mentioned earlier about the stock market, and I kind of jokingly was saying, don't sell because it's low, but some people have to. But if you have something to back up on, something to bolster those periods of time, like a reverse mortgage line of credit, you don't have to sell.
So you got a whole opportunity right there. It's very simple to say, to weather any storm because of what you've done your whole life. Next myth: the home must be free and clear of any existing mortgages.
That's not true. You can have any number of mortgages, but we are looking in the reverse mortgage world for higher equity, and that's why we're looking for roughly the rule of thumb until the rates got lower, and they're still low. We were looking for 50%, so it's probably closer to 60% these days.
Okay, so you don't have to be free and clear. Can I buy a house with a reverse mortgage?
Absolutely. And if you are of that age, I wish I were only of that age. I think it's the smartest thing to do. If you have a home with equity, my opinion is the smartest thing to do. The thing that's going to give you the most choice is a reverse mortgage. I hate that word reverse, really, but that's what it's called. And when it comes to purchase, it's the same thing. A lot of people have a lot of funds to work with because they've owned property for a while, and now there's a much higher value. but they don't have the ability to make huge payments. So you can take the proceeds from what you sold, and roughly 50-60% of the new home's value can be covered with that new reverse mortgage, the rest with the rest with the cash. And that leaves you a lot of cash or funds left over to do with what you want for a cushion or for anything else.
A lot of myths right there. We're going to talk about another myth. You're going to lose all of your equity. It's going to all be eaten up with reverse mortgage. We're going to continue our conversation with Jay Kaplan when we come back. We're also going to chat about, if I can find my note here, how to evaluate a credit card offer you received in the mail because you did not go to optoutprescreen.com. Just throw that out there for you. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It's wrong. They all are. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. Go get our book. It's free. rsrcreditbook.com. rsrcreditbook.com. Get it. It's free. Did I say it's free? How to evaluate a credit card offer you received in the mail. If you've recently received a pre-approved credit card offer via mail or email, chances are you're at least a little interested. Most offers are designed to grab your attention by highlighting all the perks front and center. No matter how enticing an offer seems, you should always check the fine print before applying to make sure you've reviewed both the good and the bad. Here's how you can decide whether to take the card offer or send it straight to the shredder. Check the card issuer. Before you dig any deeper, confirm that the card offer is from a legitimate and reputable bank. If you've never heard of the company, a quick internet search can give you some background while you're browsing. Read through a few reviews to get an idea of whether other customers like or dislike that bank. Lots of negative reviews are a sign that you do not want to do business with that card issuer. Could even be a scam. Be careful. Determine the cost. Consider the annual fee, interest rate, and cost of transactions you plan to make. Preview the perks. Credit cards are the best. Perks tend to carry an annual fee, but that's not necessarily a deal breaker. The fee may be worth paying, particularly when the benefits offset the fee. For instance, paying a $95 annual fee on a card that waives airline checked baggage fees will pay off after just 2 flights where you check your bags. If you don't fly, that might not be a benefit for you. On the other hand, a card can be packed with perks and be a bad card for you. Evaluate the benefits against your lifestyle. Look at the rewards. Consider how easily you can earn rewards based on the program and your typical spending. Cash rewards are more versatile than miles or points, but miles and points are still valuable as long as they're easy to earn and easy to redeem. The offer is less attractive, however, if you have to spend more money to earn a decent amount of rewards. Consider your credit. A pre-approved offer doesn't mean guaranteed approval. It only means that the card issuer thinks you may qualify based on its pre-screening. You got to go to myfico.com, understand what your credit scores are. Watch out for red flags. Avoid the cards that have unusual terms like upfront processing or activation fee or a fee to raise your credit limit. Likewise, don't accept an offer for a card with an abnormally high interest rate or with no grace period, because an offer that guarantees approval could be very well a scam to collect money or personal information from you. And again, get off the list for these things. Optoutprescreen.com. Optoutprescreen.com. Go register right there and get off those sales lists. It's much, much better for you, safer for you. That's the Your Credit Matters segment. Again, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. Get a copy of the book, rsrcreditbook.com. If you want to get out of debt, rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com. They're all free services that we have available for you. Continue our conversation with Jay Kaplan this morning. We're chatting about reverse mortgage myths. So, Jay, one of the myths I hear is I am going to eat up all of my equity with the reverse mortgage. I can't make payments. I want to make my payments, and I'm going to use up all the equity. I'm not going to have any legacy to give back.
First of all, you can make payments.
So that's a myth. I can
to
make
get
payments.
rid of that part of it, right?
Okay.
You can make payments, and depending on where you live, like if you're in California and most of the country, you may not want to make those payments, but you always can. Can you lose equity? I'm sure there are some areas of the country you probably could if you lived long enough and never made any payments. But Ron, as you had said so many times here, the property values have increased, almost 6% for the last 60 some years.
Right.
Not to mention 18 to 30% for the last couple of years. And you're making payments in the 3s and 4s. I'm sorry, you're not making payments in the 3s and 4s and just looking at the amount of interest that's building up at 3 to 4%. And your property is increasing by 6%. I think that's average forever there. No. Are you going to lose equity? No. In those situations, no. So I don't want to say it'll never happen. It could if you're in some wild country somewhere. I don't want to badmouth any state because I don't know a lot of them that much. But there are some areas that don't appreciate the same.
Well, look at Orange County just for an example. And we're going to use some of the numbers that we've already spoken about this morning. But if I look at the real estate report card, and I've got them for every county, just tell me where you're at or the zip code that you're in. and I've got a real estate report card for every one of them. So I just happen to be looking at Orange County, California. 63-year average is a 5.37% appreciation. So Jay, let's use that because I'm a simple guy. Let's see if we can go with a 5% appreciation. Okay. So we've got, just using some of the numbers we've talked about here today, I'm not going to go with $1 million property. Let's go with $1 million property. That's a good one to start with.
Okay.
Just because the numbers are round. So am I.
Remember when I used to be round?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you got $1 million property. We qualified for and took out, and I'm not going into any individual. We took out a $500,000 reverse mortgage.
Okay.
And we've got all of that money out because sometimes we get approved for a $500,000, but our line of credit is $500,000, but we only took $100.
Okay.
But we took $500.
We did because we had a good reason to.
Good reason to. Now the property is going to appreciate. We said we're going to use that 5% number.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the interest roughly? I mean, just give or take. Remember, I'm a simple guy.
Mm-hmm.
On a $500,000 loan.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be 4%, 5%?
To me, over the last many years, let's use 4%.
Okay.
It could. Well, I'm not going to say it won't go higher. It
Right.
could, but it'll be temporary.
Remember, this is just for educational purposes only. We are not making an offer to lend. Just trying to educate you.
We're not going to school, are we?
Maybe.
Okay.
And I might have to even get a calculator out.
All right.
So the house appreciates at 5%, $1 million, 5% of $1 million. Is that about 50,000?
Yeah, well, you can see that we're taking 5% of two different numbers, and one is only half as much as the other. So that's pretty simple right there.
Yeah, but we're going to do the math here, Jay. It's
right.
Okay, so now 5% of $1 million, I think, is 50,000.
I think you're right.
4% of $500,000, is that 20,000?
Probably.
I think that's the number.
It is.
Josh, I hope you're doing the math for me here. Just tell me if I'm wrong.
No, that sounds
okay. So our loan grew. Our $500,000 loan is, after the first year, has grown to $520,000.
Okay.
Right?
We'll accept that.
Our $1 million valued property is now $1,050,000.
Oops, that's even better.
So not only have we not lost any equity there, we've gained equity.
Mm-hmm.
And we have that $500,000. What did we do with it? Well, anything we want. But hopefully it wasn't to buy a car, a boat, a one-way trip to Wuhan, China. So none of those things, right? Not a vacation in Ukraine. I hope that wasn't it. Right? So you've got that money. Maybe you bought another house, which may be appreciating. Right?
It will be appreciated. I mean, it's hard to say to guarantee anything, but
right. We're not looking to guarantee it, but we're saying you put that money into
enough to know it's going to appreciate.
So what if we even put that money into municipal bonds? Right? They don't pay a huge amount of money, but they still pay money.
And they're pretty much guaranteed.
And they're pretty safe. Right. So maybe you got a municipal bond portfolio that's paying you 3%. There's no taxes on it.
Yeah.
That's another $15,000 to the equity side. So now the cost of that mortgage really was only $5,000. Right. So we got to do what we wanted, and maybe we're going to have a good time with it. So the bottom line is that's another myth that you're going to lose the legacy money that you want to give to your kids because you got a reverse mortgage. So it's another myth.
Absolutely.
You're not for the most part. Now, could there be a window of time when property values drop? Yeah, there could be. It happens every 100 years, right? I mean, it happened in 29?
Yeah, as I recall when I was there. Yeah. That's right.
And 2008.
But remember, it wasn't the real estate itself that caused that. It was the loans that were on those properties.
Yeah,
that became
they were insolvent. Yeah,
the finance world no longer trusted them, and that's what happened.
Sure,
real estate was still great.
Exactly, and that's why the real estate values came back in a relatively short period of time. So the bottom line is you're not even using up your equity in most instances. Could it happen? Yes. Is it going to happen? Probably not in our lifetime. So if you have questions about the reverse mortgage, talk to somebody who really understands it. right? Give us a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. If you are a senior, call us. If you know a senior, call us. If you love a senior, call us. If you want to become a senior, call us. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Push me over the limit. I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just